Hey, Team Numis Canada. That's what I call members and subscribers. Hello, coin collectors, young and old. Welcome to Numis Canada. Today, we're here at Branch 480 of the Royal Canadian Legion for the Ottawa Westboro Coin Show. This is a small regional coin show, so let's go in and see what it's all about. It's the second time I've been here, so if you want to watch the first video too, we'll leave a link in the description of this video, but we'll be right back after this. Well, here we are at the Ottawa West Coin Show, and of course it's in Westboro, and this is how big it is. It's not a big show, but it's a regional show, and there are lots of interesting things that we're going to talk about while we're here. So stay tuned and we'll show you some interesting things that were at this coin show. How cool is that? Well, I'm here with Jacob from Jacob Lipson Rare Coins, and of course he has a rare coin for us to look at today, and this is what we call a godless quarter.
Yep, it's a 1911 George V quarter. It's the only year that it didn't have Die Gratia in the Alfred legend, and the next year there was a big uproar, so they put it back. It's called a godless type, 1 year type, and it's always popular. This is a nice example.
Yes, because this one is MS64.
Yeah.
And that is quite rare for these coins. But let's take a look at it. Thank you, Jacob. And there is the coin. Okay. And it's George V, and it says Rex A India Emperor, or INDIMP. He's not an imp, but he's an emperor.
That's right.
And that's what that stands for. I'm assuming that's Latin for emperor, and an abbreviation of Latin. So this is sterling silver, correct? And we flip it over, and this one flips like a Canadian coin and is 25 cents, 1911, with the laurels around it of maple leaves. So if you want to meet with Jacob, I'm going to give you a shot of his QR code so that you can look him up, and he has many unusual coins that you can look at. And how cool is that? Well, here we are with Roger, and Roger is a Canadian specialist in error coins, and he has presented me with a triple strike penny, and we'll take a look at that. But this is an example of what he has here, and these are all error coins, plus he has much more over there, but I think he has this showcase stuff here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
How cool is that? So what would you like to talk about?
None of the things I have here would be at the office.
I would say several things. So you don't see a lot of errors at coin shows. And that's because of several collectors in the 70s and 80s hoarded this stuff. So the late Patrick Glassford would go to every show from the 1970s through the early 2000s and buy every single error at every show we went to. And so now these collections are slowly getting dispersed. There's been errors featured in auctions in Canada over the last 3 years. And so the reason I come to this show is just to bring some errors, mid-grade quality errors, just to sort of show them to collectors as another interesting way to collect Canadian coins.
Well, thank you. And do you want to talk more about this 1978 triple stripe penny? How would this have gotten out of the mint?
Well, there's two pennies known struck like that. Both were originally part of what was called the Misfits collection. A collector in the U.S. had them, and then a coin dealer in Calgary bought them, and then they were dispersed over a couple auctions in the last year. And so the one you're looking at is probably the nicer of the two because it's got some really nice toning to it.
Yes.
Back then, coins came out of the mint in bags. So hypothetically, there's two ways it came out of the mint. One is hypothetically, it could be legitimately triple struck, and then because it's a larger diameter coin, it would have passed by a machine, what was called the Riddler. So a Riddler was basically a shaker table with holes in it that were slightly smaller than the coins, designed to catch smaller errors, fragments, and so on. And then into a counting or a sorting machine, counting machine by weight, and into bags. And the other way, of course, is what I call mint shenanigans. So mint workers on the night shift, maybe having a little fun, who knows? You really never do find out how some of the stuff gets out of the mint, but once it is out, it's arguably collectible. The purists out there would say, well, no, if it had a helping hand, it's not really what they call a fair or legitimate error, but nonetheless, it was still struck legally at the mint by their dice. So I find these ones rare and very attractive because of how unusual they are.
Cool. I'll show you the obverse. Poor Queen Elizabeth has her head knocked off. Fortunately, that never happened to her in real life, like it did the first two King Charles.
Yes.
Let's hope it doesn't happen to the third King Charles. So, well, I thank you and wish you luck here at the show. Here we are with the first ever colorized coin that is colorized on both sides, and this is from the Bahamas in 2024. And we turn it off, and there's that lovely sailboat and palm trees, and we're here. And what can you tell us about this fabulous coin?
These coins were minted by the RCM in Canada on behalf of the Bahamas Central Bank. First ever coin that was, minted with both colors on both sides. A very limited release. There were two types of the coins. One that was mass market in regular coin rolls, and the other one is this type, which is a commemorative, exclusive, comes in a box with a special roll that was also done in Canada. Now, the catch is that the Central Bank of the Bahamas only wanted something nice and beautiful, but instead they competed with it at a show in Portugal and won the best coin of the year. So instantly it became a classic, and demand for this became completely astronomical overnight.
How cool is that?
And funny enough, the people in Canada are collecting it more than people in the Bahamas because it has a strong relation to the RCM and because it is minted in Canada. And people just like it.
So, and it came in both rolls and
boxes, this kind of box. You see the box?
So the rolls are in this special box. So would you be able to pick these up at the mint?
No, the mint in Canada is not allowed to sell them. They completed the order and they sent it over to Nassau in the Bahamas, and the central bank literally provided it to any commercial banks and to people down there. And the quantity, because it was so low, the quantity was sold out in absolutely no time. And demand is only guaranteed to go up because of the low mintage that was actually issued. In fact, the ones that came in boxes weren't even announced, weren't even offered to the public. They were mostly treated as corporate gifts from central bank to central bank. So very few people actually got hold of these coins.
Well, how cool is that? Well, I thank you for your interview today. I'm going to pick up 2 of these today, and one of these is going to be a giveaway at this video today.
Sure.
So, and one is for my collection. How cool is that?
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. So, what is your specialty here at the show? I see you have a lot of world banknotes.
I started this store and basically the hobby in 1999. I've been doing that ever since, and we specialize in brand new banknote releases from around the world. For example, if there's a new issue in, let's say, Belarus, we will have it in stock within a week of release. Same thing with anywhere else. We make sure that we are properly stocked, which means we go heavy sometimes on new issues.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've made a name for ourselves in our area, at least in Canada, where anybody who wants something new realizes that he can easily go online on the store and get whatever he wants.
So, do you have a coin that you think is or a banknote rather, that is very interesting that you'd like to show our viewers?
Of course, there's far too many that we can talk about. I can, for example, talk about something that just came out recently, very recently that is, which is a Sudan 1000. And this note also has an interesting story, because the central bank issued this without any notice, and created a huge demand problem, because people assumed that the old banknote will be deleted and removed from the market. So it created a rush on the central bank.
Okay.
And then people just couldn't actually function the proper way without a banknote.
How cool is that?
So not only the new note is out there, but first of all, it's impossible to get because of the demand, and then it created a whole mess in the country's economy.
Okay. Well, thank you for showing that to us.
Yeah, of course.
Well, here we are after the show, and I wanted to show you what I picked up at the show, and we'll get into that right now. And here we have a banknote from Four Top Notes, your World Bank store. And of course, if you want to see him, that is his QR code. That is a very busy QR code. And I'll try and put a photograph of that in to make it a little bit clearer. But I picked up a couple of things from him, and it is this Eastern Caribbean central bank note, 40th anniversary, $2, and it is a beautiful vertical banknote. And here we have on this side a baseball player, and that's Sir Viv Richards, the Master Blaster. And it has a signature of the governor saying that these notes are legal tender for the payment of any amount, towards the payment of any amount, and the 40th anniversary. And look at the beautiful, even this see-through asset has beautiful artwork on it, and this is just magnificent. And I'll give you a photograph of this so that you can see it clearly. And look at that, spectacular. And that came from Four Top Notes. In addition to that, you remember him talking about this coin. And of course, this is the colorized coin from Bahamas on both sides. There's the shield on this side. And there is a sailboat and palm trees on this side. Well, I purchased one for my collection, but also got one as a purchase for a giveaway on this video to subscribers. And you must be a subscriber. And he gave a third one for me to give away to, he said, do you have members? And I said, yes, I do have members. And he said, I'm going to give you this one as a prize for the members. So if you're not a member today, it's a great time to sign up to become a member, because you could have a chance to win one of these. And the odds are very good because there's only 12 or 13 members currently. And so this will be given away in this video. So let us know what you think of this video and what your favorite aspect or coin or feature in this video is. I know this is a very complex video. Now, I also picked up some stamps. And of course, these are Newfoundland stamps. And we have a 48-cent stamp, 5-cent stamp, 2-cent stamp, 5-cent stamps, and 7-cent stamps, and a 1-cent stamp. And of course, we have the multiple monarchs on here, and how beautiful are they, including Queen Elizabeth and King George. And so these are 10 different mint stamps from Newfoundland. And of course, I also got this collection of stamps. And of course, 50 different mint condition Canadian stamps from the 1960s and 70s. And there's a lot of different stamps, including Governor Generals and important Canadians and wildlife and technology and all kinds of things. So how cool is that? There's an Inuit stamp. And the final thing that I picked up was this Heart of Our Nation. These are silver coins, and of course, go here and look at that. That is spectacular. It has a lot of different things. There's a moose, a canoe, and it's all just Canadiana. And of course, it has all of these symbols plus some more on this point around this maple leaf on the coin. And we flip it over, and it's got Queen Elizabeth. And it's a $3 coin. And I got 2 of these, and this is for a future giveaway because we are quickly approaching 1,600 subscribers. When we get to 1,600 subscribers, we'll give this one away as a prize. This one's for my collection. So how cool is that? Very simple pickups at I didn't want to spend too much money because it's my first time back there, and I didn't see what I really wanted to purchase, so I just picked up a few things that I could pick up for my collection, but also give as giveaways. So leave your comments on this video if you're a member or a subscriber. you could have a chance to win one of these. And of course, reminder that our membership is only 99 cents a month. So consider becoming a member so you can get on the membership wheel, and we'll spin the wheel to see who wins. This will be through the comment picker, and just leave comments and members would have 2 chances to win. They could win the member one or the member one or the subscriber one, because they are both. I'll give you photographs of all of these. I will give you a photograph of that barcode for top notes. I may put it in the section of his interview. And if you want to purchase from him, because he has these coins and a variety, I mean binders and binders of world banknotes in perfect condition. So how cool is that? Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again. Bye for now.
And please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and keep on collecting.